She said, "My parents prefer my ex. They think you're too plain." I said, "Fair enough." I quietly stepped out of her life. Weeks later, her mother kept trying to reach me after something happened when they reintroduced her to her ex. I'm 37, and up until 3 months ago, I thought I was building something real with someone. We'd been together for 2 years, met through a hiking group, started dating casually. Things got serious around the 8-month mark. She was 34, worked in finance, came from old money. I'm a civil engineer, make decent money but nothing flashy. Drive a reliable car, live in a modest house, save for retirement. Normal, stable life. Her family was different. Country club memberships, vacation homes, the kind of wealth where they don't talk about money because they've never had to think about it. I knew from the start I wasn't what they'd envisioned for their daughter, but she always said it didn't matter, that she chose me, that her family would come around. They didn't. Every family dinner was an exercise in subtle condescension. Her father would ask about my work, then change the subject before I finished answering. Her mother would make comments about practicality and ambition that were clearly aimed at me. Her younger brother once asked, in front of everyone, if I'd ever considered doing something more significant with my career. I took it in stride, smiled politely, didn't engage. My girlfriend would apologize afterward, say they were just old-fashioned, that they'd warm up eventually. But they never did. The breaking point came on a Sunday in late August. We'd gone to her parents' house for brunch, standard monthly obligation. I was in the living room waiting for her to finish getting ready when I heard voices from the study. The door was slightly open, her mother and father talking. "He's just so ordinary," her mother was saying. "No presence, no ambition." "She could do better," her father agreed. "Remember that boy she dated before? Now he had potential. We should invite him to the charity gala next month. Let them reconnect." I didn't wait to hear more. Went back to the living room, sat on the couch, stared at a painting on the wall, some abstract thing that probably cost more than my car. My girlfriend came downstairs 10 minutes later. "Ready?" "Yeah." Brunch was the usual, forced conversation, thinly veiled judgments. I barely spoke. She noticed. On the drive home, she asked, "What's wrong?" "Nothing. You were quiet today. Just tired." She let it go. That evening, we were at her place. She was making dinner. I was sitting at the kitchen counter watching her move around the space. Everything in her apartment was expensive, high-end appliances, designer furniture, original art on the walls. I'd always felt like a guest there, even after 2 years. "I need to tell you something," she said, not looking at me. "Okay. My parents want me to go to their charity gala next month." "All right." "They're inviting my ex." I set down the glass I was holding. "Why?" "They want us to reconnect. They think we were good together." "And what do you think?" She turned to face me. "I think they're being ridiculous, but they're not going to let this go." "So what are you saying?" "I'm saying I have to go, and he'll be there, and my parents are going to make a whole thing out of it." "Do you want to reconnect with him?" "No, of course not." "Then why are you telling me this?" She sighed. "Because I need you to understand. My parents, they prefer him. They think you're too plain." Those were my mother's exact words. I felt something settle in my chest. Not anger, not hurt, just clarity. "Fair enough," I said. "What?" "Fair enough. If that's how they feel, that's how they feel." "That's it? That's all you're going to say?" "What do you want me to say?" "I don't know. Fight for this. Tell me you're upset. Something. I'm not going to beg your parents to accept me, and I'm not going to compete with your ex for their approval. I'm not asking you to compete." "Then what are you asking?" She didn't have an answer. I left that night. Told her I needed space to think. She didn't try to stop me. I spent the next week thinking, really thinking, about what I wanted, about what I was willing to tolerate, about whether love was supposed to feel like a constant uphill battle. The more I thought about it, the clearer it became. I'd been compromising myself for 2 years, sitting through dinners where I was the punchline of inside jokes, listening to her father talk about real success while looking past me, watching her mother's face pinch with disappointment every time I showed up. And my girlfriend? She'd apologize in private but never defended me in public. Never told her father to stop changing the subject when I talked. Never told her mother that her comments were inappropriate. Never told her brother that my career was none of his business. She let it happen, over and over, because it was easier than standing up to them. I called her the following Sunday. "Can we talk?" "Yes, please come over." I went to her apartment. She looked relieved to see me, like she thought I was coming to say we'd figure it out, that we'd get through this. "I'm done," I said instead. "What?" "I'm done. With this. With us." Because of what my parents said? Because of what you said. You told me they prefer your ex, that they think I'm too plain, and you said it like it was just a fact I needed to accept. I was being honest. You were being cruel, whether you meant to be or not. I love you. Maybe. But you also care what your parents think more than you care about how their opinions make me feel. And I'm not interested in spending the rest of my life trying to prove I'm good enough for people who've already decided I'm not. So that's it? You're just leaving? Yeah, I am. You're not going to fight for this? There's nothing to fight for. You've already chosen them. Her face crumpled. That's not fair. It's completely fair. Every time they insulted me, you stayed silent. Every time they made me feel small, you apologized later but never stopped it from happening again. You've been choosing them this whole time. I'm just finally accepting it. I can change. I'll talk to them. I'll make them understand. You've had 2 years to do that. You didn't. Because deep down, you agree with them. You think I'm too plain, too. You just didn't want to admit it. That's not true. Then why didn't you defend me? Why did you let your brother mock my career? Why did you let your mother make those comments about ambition? If you really thought I was enough, you would have shut that down immediately. She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. No words came out. That's what I thought, I said. I walked out, didn't look back, blocked her number on the drive home, blocked her on social media, deleted our photos, threw out the things she'd left at my place, a toothbrush, some clothes, a book she'd been reading. All of it went in a box that I left outside my door with a note. Please pick up at your convenience. She picked it up the next day while I was at work. Sent me an email from an address I hadn't blocked yet. I can't believe you're doing this. I didn't respond. Just added that email to my block list, too. The first week was hard. I'd reach for my phone to text her, then remember. I'd see something funny and think about telling her, then stop myself. I'd cook dinner and make too much food out of habit. But by week 2, I felt lighter, like I'd been carrying something heavy and finally set it down. I started doing things I'd stopped doing while we were together, went hiking on weekends without checking if she was free first, watched movies she'd never liked, cooked meals she said were too simple. I realized how much I'd been shrinking myself, not just around her family, but around her too, always trying to be a little more impressive, a little more ambitious, a little less plain. 3 weeks after I left, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity got me. Hello? Hi, this is her mother. I should have hung up. What do you want? I need to talk to you. I don't have anything to say to you. Please. It's important. Can we meet? No. Then can I just talk? For 5 minutes? Against my better judgment, I stayed on the line. Something happened, she said. At the gala, with my daughter and her ex. Not my problem. He's not who we thought he was. Okay. He He hurt her. I felt my stomach drop. What do you mean? They were talking, reconnecting. He seemed charming, just like we remembered. But then, later in the evening, she found him in one of the private rooms. He was very publicly flirting with someone else, the daughter of one of my husband's business partners. She confronted him. He laughed at her, said she was naive if she thought he was interested in anything serious, that he was only there because her parents practically begged him to come, that he was networking, not rekindling. I didn't say anything. She's devastated. She's been crying for days, won't leave her room, won't talk to us. She barely eats, just stays in bed staring at the ceiling. Why are you telling me this? Because we were wrong. About him, about you. We thought he was ambitious and successful and everything we wanted for her. But he's just empty. A charming shell with nothing real inside. And you were genuine. You were kind. You were stable. And we pushed you away. Yeah, you did. I'm calling to apologize and to ask if you'd consider talking to her. She won't admit it, but she needs you. She doesn't need me. She needs to learn that her parents don't always know what's best for her. We made a mistake. You made several. You made them repeatedly, for 2 years. Will you at least think about it? No, I won't. Because even if I wanted to, which I don't, she'd end up right back here eventually. The next time you disapprove of something I do or say or wear, she'll internalize it. She'll start wondering if you're right. And we'll be right back where we started. I promise that won't happen. Your promises mean nothing to me. You promised to welcome me into your family. You didn't. You promised you'd give me a chance. You didn't. So no, I'm not interested in your promises now. She loves you. She loves the idea of me now that her other option showed his true colors. That's not the same thing. I hung up. She called back 3 times. I didn't answer. Then she started texting. Long messages about how sorry she was, how they'd misjudged me, how her daughter was heartbroken and it was their fault, how they'd do anything to make it right. I blocked the number. 2 days later, my ex showed up at my house. I saw her car in the driveway when I got home from work. She was sitting on the front steps. You need to leave, I said, not getting out of my car. Please, just talk to me. There's nothing to talk about. I'm sorry. I was wrong. They were wrong. Everything was wrong. I got out of the car, walked past her to my front door. She stood up. He humiliated me, in front of everyone, my parents' friends, people I've known my whole life. He made me look like an idiot. I'm sorry that happened to you, but it doesn't change anything. I know you're angry, but I need you. You needed me to be good enough for your parents. I wasn't. That's the end of it. I don't care what they think anymore. You will. Maybe not today. But eventually you'll care, and we'll be right back here, with you apologizing for them in private but never defending me in public. I'm not doing that again. I won't. I promise. Your promises don't mean anything to me anymore. She started crying. Full breakdown. Right there on my front porch. Neighbors were probably watching. I could see curtains moving in the house across the street. Please, she sobbed. I love you. I made a mistake. Don't throw away 2 years because I was stupid. I'm not throwing away anything. You already did that when you told me your parents think I'm too plain, when you let them treat me like I wasn't good enough, when you chose their approval over my dignity. I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did. And that's fine. You're allowed to feel that way. You're allowed to value their opinions, but I'm allowed to walk away from it. I went inside, closed the door, locked it, sat on my couch and listened to her cry outside for 20 minutes before she finally left. She tried calling that night. I didn't answer. She sent emails. I deleted them without reading. She sent messages through mutual friends. I told them to stop playing Messenger, or I'd cut contact with them too. They stopped. 4 weeks after I walked away, her father called. I don't know how he got my number. I'd changed it after blocking everyone. Maybe he got it from my workplace. Maybe he hired someone to find it. I didn't care enough to ask. "We need to talk," he said. No introduction, no greeting, just straight to the point. "No, we don't. I'm offering to make this right." "There's nothing to make right. I'll give you a job. At my firm. Better title than what you have now. Better pay. Corner office. Executive benefits." I laughed. Actually laughed out loud. "You think I want a job from you? I'm trying to fix this." "You can't fix this. You insulted me, looked down on me, made me feel like I wasn't good enough for 2 years. And now that your daughter got hurt by the guy you preferred, you want to buy me back? That's not how this works." She loves you. She loves the idea of me now that her other option showed his true colors. But when the next impressive guy comes along, someone you approve of, she'll start wondering again if I'm enough. I'm not signing up for that. "You're being stubborn." "I'm being smart. I'm choosing self-respect over someone who only values me when their better option falls through. Goodbye." I hung up. Blocked that number too. Over the next month, they tried everything. Her mother sent a handwritten letter, 12 pages long, delivered by courier. I threw it away without reading past the first paragraph. Her father showed up at my workplace. Security escorted him out when I told them I didn't want to see him. Her brother sent a message through LinkedIn, of all places, trying to appeal to my sense of reason. They offered money, offered apologies, offered promises that things would be different. Her mother said they'd go to family therapy. Her father said he'd publicly acknowledge how wrong he'd been. Her brother said he'd apologize at their next family gathering. I ignored all of it. Because here's the thing, they weren't sorry they'd treated me badly. They were sorry it had consequences. They were sorry their preferred option turned out to be garbage. They were sorry their daughter was hurting. But they weren't actually sorry about who they were or how they'd made me feel. My ex tried one more time, about 6 weeks after I'd ended things. She was waiting outside my gym. I saw her car and almost turned around, but decided I wasn't going to let her control my routine. I'd been going to this gym for 5 years. I wasn't giving it up. "I'm not leaving until you talk to me," she said when I walked past her. "Then you're going to be here a while." I went inside, did my full workout, cardio, weights, stretching, took my time in the locker room. She was still there when I came out an hour and 15 minutes later. "I broke it off with my parents," she said. "I'm not speaking to them. I told them what they did was unforgivable. That's between you and them. I did it for you. Don't do things for me. We're not together. But we could be." "No, we couldn't." "Why not?" "Because you're only here because things didn't work out with your ex. Because your parents finally realized they were wrong. Because you have no other options. That's not love. That's convenience." "That's not true." "It is, and you know it. You wouldn't be here if he'd been the person your parents thought he was. If he'd been interested in you, you'd be with him right now. And I'd just be the guy you used to date. The one who wasn't good enough." She didn't have a response to that. "Go home," I said. "Move on. Find someone your parents approve of from the start. Someone who doesn't have to prove himself. Someone who fits into your world without having to change who they are. You'll be happier." "I won't." "You will. Eventually. Because you're not cut out for going against your family. And I'm not interested in being someone you have to defend. I want someone who's proud of me from day one, who thinks I'm impressive exactly as I am. You're not that person." "I could be." "No, you couldn't. And that's okay. We're just not compatible. We never were. We just both wanted to believe we were." I got in my car and drove away, watched her in my rearview mirror, standing in the parking lot, getting smaller and smaller until she disappeared. That was 2 months ago. I haven't heard from her or her family since. I assume she finally got the message. Or maybe she found someone new, someone more suitable, someone her parents approve of. I don't know and I don't care. I'm doing fine. Better than fine, actually. I started going out more, joined a new hiking group, different from the one where I met her, met some interesting people, went on a few dates, nothing serious yet, but I'm not rushing. I'm enjoying being myself without constantly wondering if I'm impressive enough. Last week I went to dinner with a woman I met through work. She's a project manager, smart, funny, down to earth. We talked about our jobs, our hobbies, our families. At one point she asked what I do for fun. Hiking mostly, reading. I'm pretty simple. Simple is good, she said. Simple is honest. And I realized that's what I'd been missing. Someone who saw simple as a positive, not as a flaw that needed fixing. Someone at work asked me yesterday if I regretted walking away, if I thought I should have given her another chance after what happened with her ex. No. Not even a little? She told me her parents thought I was too plain, and she expected me to just accept it, to keep trying to win them over. Why would I regret leaving that? Because you loved her. I loved who I thought she was, the person who stood up for me, who chose me over their approval. But that person didn't exist, or if she did, she wasn't strong enough to stay. That's harsh. That's reality. Love without respect is just pain with better marketing. I'm 37. I've got a good job, a good house, a good life. I don't need someone who treats me like a backup plan, like someone they settle for when their first choice doesn't work out. I don't need someone whose family thinks I'm too plain and whose silence confirms they might agree. Her family thought I was ordinary. Maybe I am. But ordinary doesn't mean less than. It means real, stable, honest, dependable. And I'd rather be ordinary and respected than impressive and tolerated. I made the right choice, and I'd make it again.